Hey Coasters, it's Duncan here from Coffs Coast Health Club, and today I'm being joined by one of our foundation members, Tim Chapman. Tim's been a member of the club obviously since we started being a foundation member. He works for the charity Camp Quality. He's 38 years of age. He is a loving husband and also is a father to 6-year-old Kyle. Now, in addition to his regular routine that he does with us at Coffs Coast Health Club, he's also been involved in a pretty massive event recently. He set himself a really important goal of participating in the Noosa Triathlon, which happens to be, I think it's the biggest triathlon in Australia. And unbelievable photos, and the participation rate was just massive. So
8,500 this year.
8,500, isn't it? Yeah. Unreal. So, Tim, tell us about that. Why did you decide that was one of the goals? That was one of the things that you wanted to achieve?
It's a bucket list event for anyone that does Olympic distance triathlons, and you could be doing sprints or you could be doing the longer distances. But if you don't put your name down to do Noosa, then you're really missing an absolute event, a spectacle.
Has a huge profile.
Massive.
Huge profile. Yeah, it just looked amazing. All of the photos and everything that I saw that you had on Facebook, it just looked unreal. And I think there was a couple of people that I knew from Coffs, members and other people around town that went up for it, and all of them spoke so highly of the event. Really well organised and well structured. It
has a really large following here in Coffs, and yearly a whole group of people go up, and so you never go up on your own. And if you do go up on your own, you'll always meet people, believe it or not, in amongst the massive crowds.
Yeah.
People that you know that are from Coffs and get involved in it.
Yeah, cool. That makes it a little bit more comfortable for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what was your goal? What was your goal of participating in this event? Obviously, you'd never done it before, so yeah.
Look, it wasn't my first Olympic distance because I've done the BCU here in Coffs Harbour a couple of times, but it's always to finish, first and foremostly. It's always to finish and have a whole lot of fun. From a time perspective, though, I really knew it was going to be a good course. It has some great legs, and I was setting a goal of about 2 hours 45, which it was really achievable given some of the previous results.
It's a lot of time to exercise, mate.
I'm no world beater by any chance. The pros do it almost in half that time.
Yep.
But 2:45, so 2 hours 45 was my goal.
Yeah, that's unreal. And so, what was your result?
My result was 2:49.
Yeah.
So I was just outside of that, but I'm able to look back and see the areas in which I can improve.
Yep.
But I was really happy with 2:49.
Okay, and so during that event, I mean, I guess you've got all of the preparation and training that you've got to do beforehand. You've got the preparation, again, being to an event that's not in town, so you're out of your normal routine, you're not sleeping in your own bed, you've got to plan all of your meals, you've got to do all of that sort of stuff. So you've got your training side of things, you've got the preparation before the event, you've got during the event, and then I guess you've got the recovery that comes after the event as well. So what were the things that you found most challenging through those different processes?
Fitting it all in
Time.
is probably the biggest thing. Your time management around the event is really critical, and your time management around the training is really critical as well, and finding time to do all three disciplines, swimming, a good ride and some run. On top of that, Noosa on the day has the potential to be 30 to 33 degrees.
Yep.
So you can be relaxed and look forward to enjoying the event, but at the same time you've got to be finding time to hydrate.
Yep.
You've got to be finding time to eat appropriately, because on the day if you don't, it'll have such a big consequence.
Yeah, okay. And so what did you find? I mean, I think I did a triathlon when I was really young. I know you guys get out on the road all of the time, and if you ever go for a ride with me, it's just a social ride. But to me, exercising in that kind of heat intensity in a place that you're completely unfamiliar with for almost 3 hours would take a pretty big physical toll on your body as well as a psychological toll. So you spoke about the time management side of things, and I guess whenever you set a goal, time management is the first thing that you need to do. If you're working full time, you're a dad, you're a husband, you've got other responsibilities, it's hard to fit that sort of stuff in. But what did you find easy? What did you sort of think was going to be really quite difficult that actually wasn't as difficult as what you thought?
Motivation. I found the motivation really easy.
Because you had the goal?
Yeah, because I had the goal, and because it's just so easy now to be accountable to those people around you. And when you're accountable and you let people know you're going to be doing something or you've entered something,
yep.
they drive you. When you're, when you enter in such a big race that is on a stage, so to speak, where you're going to have people on the sidelines, and when you're going to be running past hundreds and hundreds of people that are cheering you on, it doesn't take much to get motivated.
Yeah.
And so I found that really easy. And
I guess when you put it out there to people like myself, other people in the health club, friends and family, that kind of motivation really drives you on, because you don't want to feel like a goose. You don't want to feel like a failure. You want to get in there and participate and really, as you said, A, number one, finish the event, and B, get somewhere near a time that you've got, you just kind of come up with that time. You've never done the event before. If you do it again, are you going to do it again?
Sure will. Signed up already.
Oh, have you? For next year? Yeah. So now you'll have a bit of an idea as to where your accurate goal lies and your training that you're doing between now and then. When you're going into the club, you're going in there and you're checking your... noticed you've been checking your weight and your body fat percentage and probably more importantly, your total body water when you're going in and checking it in the club. And you've got, other members that and you've got trainers that that are asking you how you're going. So I understand that motivation side of things. If you've got that support around you, it must make it a little bit...
Every time I went into the club, whether it was to do a cardio session, a weight session, or as you said, to check the weights and I guess my body percentages, it doesn't take much for word to spread. And the minute you put something out there, people are saying to you, hey, how are you going with it? Or are you going riding this weekend? Or what are you doing? Do you want to catch up for a swim? And all that sort of stuff's really motivating and really pushes you along. And that was fantastic. Every single time you're sort of touching base with people in there, and they're feeding you information that makes you go, hey, I'm on track, and I'm really motivated about it.
And I guess it's the same with the Tri Club. I mean, that's why the Tri Club is so good. Andrew Rawlings and all of the other guys that you train with, your mates and the people that you go riding with or you go running with in the run club or whatever. I guess that's just another element that helps spur you on a bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well that's great. If we've got other people that are considering, they might do local triathlons and they're considering stepping it up to an Olympic distance. I know the BCU's coming up early next year here locally in Coffs, and then you've got Noosa later on. If people are looking at trying their first triathlon or they're stepping up from the smaller club triathlons through to the Olympic distance triathlons, what's a couple of tips? If you could give them 3 tips, I know you're not an expert, but if you could give them 3 tips, what would those 3 tips be?
Really simply, one would be achievable. So set achievable goals.
Okay.
Don't set anything that is completely unrealistic. Second thing would be accountability. And this day and age with social media and friends and the Tri Club, you can always be accountable. And by creating that accountability, it feeds a whole heap of other things, whether it be motivation and performance.
Yep.
And the last one would be just to get out there and do whatever you do, have fun.
Yeah. Because
if you don't have fun about it, if it becomes a chore, then it's going to become a challenge, and then that motivation dives, and things aren't going to...
You're not going to stick with it.
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
So they're my 3 things. It would be accountability, set achievable goals, and have fun.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. I think you can kind of use those 3 tips over a myriad of different things around the place, can't you? But I think they'd be very effective with triathlons. Yeah. Maybe one day I might kind of get there to have a crack at it. All right, well, look, thanks very much for coming in and joining us today.
No
thanks for sharing your inspirational story with other people. And we'd like to do this, have conversations with our members. And, when did you start doing triathlons? How long ago?
Just a little under 3 years ago.
Okay, a little under 3 years ago. Yeah. So it's not like it's something you've been doing your entire life.
Certainly
you
not.
Don't have professional, training and all sorts of other, facilities at your beck and call. You're an average bloke having a go, which is what it's all about. And mate, I think it's an inspirational story, and I'm sure that other people will find it inspirational as well. So
thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries.